basketballs, musical instruments,
and anything else a child would like.
Share your blessing.
Children will be able to choose a gift for another child.
And Florida Kids Helping Kids will wrap the gift.
Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from all of us here at WOCA The Source.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree. On the second day of Christmas, my true love sent.
All right, every year there's a story in the news about the cost of the 12 days of Christmas. If you were to add all these things up, I don't know how you pay for.
On the third day.
Do I hear a phone ring?
Yeah.
That's not in the song. How do I get rid of that?
It's technology, though.
Oh, come on. Okay. Anyway, so the cost of the 12 days of Christmas, there was a story this morning. It's now $34,363.
Wow.
You know what, the 8 maids of milking is the cheapest thing.
Gosh, isn't that something?
You can get, no, the partridge is the cheapest thing. It's $20. The 8 maids, $58.
Maybe I should get a
They are underpaid, those maids.
Yes, they are.
They are just underpaid. You can get the dancing ladies for $7,000, but the maids, look at this, $58. We have on the phone Kathy Pickering. It's probably not what she wants to talk about, but she's a tax expert, so she's going to tell you if you do buy those things, you better itemize them and put them on your tax return. She's going to talk to us about the PATH Act, which is an acronym for Protecting Americans from Tax Hikes. Kathy Pickering, thank you for putting up with my silliness to introduce you. Good morning, Kathy.
Hi, good morning, Larry and Robin. I just want to say, go Gators.
Go Gators. Yeah. Where are you? Are you from here?
No, I'm in Kansas City, but we're very excited to stay connected.
Oh,
nice.
Okay, all right. Well, very good.
Good job.
Thank you for being on the air with us. Is the PATH Act something new?
Yes, it is. It's a new law that was passed last year about this time, and we're going to see some impacts for the first time in this upcoming filing season. So the big thing that people need to know is that the IRS is now required to hold refunds until February 15th for people who are claiming either the Earned Income Tax Credit or the Additional Child Tax Credit. Now, we know that there's about 30 million Americans who claim this credit, so it's going to impact a lot of people. Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah. That doesn't sound like it protects Americans. It seems like it doesn't protect them. Am I right?
Well, what it's doing is it's allowing the IRS to now match the tax return information against the W-2s and the 1099s to make sure that people who are claiming the refunds are indeed the people who are entitled to them. So it's a very important provision, but it may catch people by surprise if they haven't anticipated this delay. It's only in the beginning of the season. People should still file early. If they normally file early, they should still do so because the IRS expects that the majority of people will get their refunds within 21 days.
21 days. Oh, really? So that February 15th deadline is only for part of the refund, or
it's only for the beginning of the season. So people that file early may have to wait a little bit longer, but the majority of people won't see that much of a delay.
Oh, okay. So that's the message then: is get it in early.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And what about for those?
That's also.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say that's also really beneficial to file early to help combat tax fraud, because the earlier you get your refund filed, that means nobody else will be able to sneak in there and steal it.
Now, nobody's coming after me because I probably owe money. So can I wait until April 15th at midnight?
So what happens, though, with the fraudsters is as long as they've got your information, they can file a fake tax return. So we've also seen that as well. A couple things that we would say to help protect against tax fraud is to make sure that you manage your passwords. And what I mean by that is to use strong passwords, things that can't be easily guessed. Also, change your passwords periodically. And don't use the same password for all of your online accounts. And then one other thing is protect your Social Security number. We keep hearing so much about these scams where somebody says they're from the IRS or they're sending an email asking for your Social Security number and your private information. So when that happens, be very suspicious and don't give out that information.
Do you know, I want to tell you something about that. I saw something online where they were asking for the first 4 digits and not the last 4. And I was thinking to myself, if you give somebody the first 4 and the last 4 are out there everywhere, everybody asks for your last 4, then there's only 99 digits in between, because the second, the 2 digits in the middle, the highest they could go is 99. So it would be really easy to hack you if somebody had the first 4 and the last 4.
That's exactly right. And they're getting more and more clever all the time, looking for new ways to seem legitimate to scam that information. So you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Now, how about the people that go and they'll get their check stub for the end of the year, and then they'll go to these different entities, they'll prepare their tax return, and then give them an advance on their tax return. Does that February 15th rule apply to them too? I mean, can they no longer get a loan against their tax return?
So with the PATH Act, what it's talking about is the actual tax refund, and that the tax refund needs to be held until at least February 15th. So that would be very separate from whether somebody is providing a loan or not.
So you represent H&R Block, correct? Am I speaking along?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So if we go to H&R Block, and obviously anytime there's something new, I always want to go to somebody who's studied it, because I know I'll never study it like you guys do. So, will you tell me? I'm okay if I know in advance that I got to wait, but you know what you always hate? You always hate when you think you're going to get a refund, and then you're waiting longer than you thought you would.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that's exactly right. And so certainly when you're working with H&R Block, we're going to help you set expectations to know what to expect and when the timing of those things is going to occur. And then, of course, there's information that you can get at the IRS on when to expect your refund once you've filed the return.
Don't you guys sometimes do loans too, like what do you call them? Tax refund loans, where instead of the person waiting, the H&R Block, for example, lays out the money and then takes a percentage of it or something?
So right now we're offering what's called the Emerald Advance, and that's a line of credit. So it's not attached to your refund, but it is available for those who are interested in it, and it can really help with holiday expenses. And that's available right now in our offices.
Now, how does people having or not having Obamacare affect their tax refund?
So with health insurance, the thing that people need to know is that the penalty for not having coverage is pretty steep this year. So on average, last year, people paid a penalty of about $400 for not having insurance. This year, it's $695 per adult, half of that for kids. And that comes out to, say, for example, you've got a family of 4 earning $60,000 a year. That penalty could be $2,000. It's a pretty big bite.
That's horrible. Absolutely horrible.
Now, what I would say is that there are exemptions that can be filed on the tax return. And if you find yourself in a situation where you don't have coverage, I would recommend that you seek professional help to make sure that you're exploring all your options there.
And H&R Block, would that be a professional help that you would? I mean, would that work? Or is that not what you guys do?
H&R Block is well versed in helping people find those exemptions and those opportunities for minimizing those kinds of penalties.
Oh my gosh! I forgot all about that part of this. Yeah, some people are going to have a big, a big disappointment this year.
Yeah, because it's mandatory.
Yeah.
So because the Obamacare is mandatory, it's going to eat up their tax return.
Well, we have some really good representatives for your company in our community. They come on the air with us a lot, actually. So, do you have a website? Is it just hrblock.com?
Yes, hrblock.com/path. We'll have all this information that we've just talked about with regards to the PATH Act, the timing of the refund, and we're constantly updating that with new information.
Okay, just for the listeners, I want to make sure you heard what she said. It was PATH, P-A-T-H. Sometimes on the radio it sounds like P-A-S-S, but it's P as in Paul, A as in Apple, T as in Tom, H as in Harry, PATH. So hrblock.com/path. Kathy Pickering, thank you so much for being on there with us. Have a great holiday season.
Thanks, and for you too.
All right. We will be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM.